Chris Lehto. Welcome to Lehto Files.
Hello, welcome to the channel. Chris Lehto. We have a live show now. Welcome to 2024. Hope you had a great 2023. I had amazing holidays at home with the family, and now I feel rested. I'm just super excited for 2024. I just can't remember being this stoked for the future. And yeah, I'm very optimistic. It may be rough, according to a lot of people say, but this is the year, man, 2024. I am so excited. So this is going to be a live stream. Welcome to everyone who is here. Thank you guys for being here. Hello to everyone. And I hope you're having a great Tuesday. And all right, so we'll get into first some Q&A, a couple questions from my patrons, and then I have just a few news articles I thought were interesting to talk to, and then we'll answer more of your questions here. So again, thanks for being here. I hope you like the new setup that I have going. All right, first question was, what's the current status on your Sky 360 project? And really, Sky 360, so it seemed like it kept delaying, and they were waiting on just difficult issues to deal with on AI, etc. So I started a UAP contest basically back over the summer. And Sky 360, yeah, they applied. I hope they applied. And I actually did vote for them. You know, the holders could vote. So they did win. So Richard Hoff, he was excited. I sent him the award. He was happy that they won first, actually. And he said that they have some new actual partnerships that the contest did push it forward. So the contest did help Sky 360 at least get something going. I know Lionel Lamar, you may see him actually in the chat sometimes. I've worked with him, or I know he's actually been working with Sky 360 on their technical development, at least dealing with the software. So it's a good question. I need to check back in with Richard Hoff, but I honestly believe that this is the year that the system can be finally ready. AI has certainly made the strides that we needed it to last year. So that was kind of the big last issue. It was really the supply constraints that just building all the hardware, getting the hardware together, sourcing the hardware during the whole COVID debacle. That was really difficult. And then it was the software, the AI software, but we've seen huge breakthroughs in AI. So hopefully this will be the year for 2024. And that's a great question. I'll get Richard Hoff back on the show. So hopefully Richard or Sky 360, if you guys are seeing this, expect me to get in contact with you. Okay. Hi, Chris. Is all that pushback we're experiencing a sign that we are getting closer to whatever this thing is? And I think definitely, you know, if you look just all my shows on Follow the Money, if you look at the Schumer Amendment, the Schumer Act, the fact that the act was there and that they had to actually step out of the woodwork and reveal themselves, right? They had to step out of the shadows, you know, to bring out their knives and like kill the act. So I think without a doubt, you know, all the old school researchers, you know, Richard Dolan, I had Richard Dolan on my show, and he just seems very optimistic. I've been in just, you know, a few texts, just friendly texts, really, with Lou Elizondo. He seems very optimistic as well. This is, again, just friendly text, but it seems like people behind the scenes are optimistic and excited, and it really seems like 2024. This just feels like it's going to be the year, man. It's like I can see through the gaps. All right, and so patrons, only had 2 questions from patrons, but now I'll do a Tuesday live streams. So we'll do live streams like this, and then a Friday video. So we still have videos. I'm still making videos in the background, but I'll interact with you guys for live streams more in this way. I think it's a better way to do it. So welcome to everyone in the chat. So George Sanqui, excellent. Check out UAP Society. They have a news channel going, weekly news, and then George has interesting chats. I was just watching his interview with Grant Cameron that's on UAP Society as well. So quite interesting. Tom DeLonge was right all along. Tom DeLonge, what a character, right? If you think of what he's done, he's kind of gone off the radar, but his Secret Machines, I actually haven't even read the Secret Machines books. I don't know. Kind of curious what you guys think, if I should read the Secret Machines, because in a few interviews I've seen, Tom DeLonge seems to kind of know what he's talking about. Anyway, WICRAD, Weapons Instructor Course, looks like a fighter pilot there. What do you think about simulation theory? I haven't looked fully into simulation theory. Is there like one place you can actually go to look for simulation theory? I think it sounds like an amazing idea. I do think simulation theory just kind of models our own theory about the universe. It's probably um, something similar. Hello to all 2024. This is it. Hello, Hazel Jordan. Again, thanks for all your guys' support. These are the wingmen. If you're a YouTube wingman, it shows up. It's easier for me to see you when we have so many people in the live chat. So I'll try and give more comments, etc., to the actual YouTube members and wingmen. So thanks again for being here. And we have first super chat. Thank you. Let's see. From Dolan's Bar. Okay. Awesome. Thank you for the content, brother. Met you in DC. Okay. Excellent. Love your show. Also, what are you hearing is coming down the pike that you can fill us in on? I'm sure you have some info. So I kind of gave a little bit of info there. I don't know if I was supposed to release it. But I mentioned there just chats with Lou Elizondo. And that was just, hey, how's it going? Excited for 2024. That's it. As far as other insights, I really do try to release any information that I have. And I really rather have it out. So I'm not one to keep extra stuff in, but everything seems positive. Everything seems optimistic. So I had on basically as a news channel was the IGIC meeting coming on Friday. So it's starting right out the gate. Let me bring that up now. Where did that article? There's so much going on. So originally I thought it would be, let me add this here. Sorry. Hopefully you can see that. Like this. I'm gonna get out of here. Can't get rid of those things. Remove. Okay. Has anyone entered a SCIF with David Grusch yet? And if not, when? All right, let me see if I can get these up here. And all right. Sorry, guys. Remove a comment. Okay. The banner. I get it. All right. Been a while, guys. Again, live streaming. So Scoop, House members to receive classified UFO briefing. So this is from 8 days ago, January 2nd. So again, they love to just surprise these things on us, right? They don't want us to be too ready to actually see these things. So there's Representative Matt Gaetz. You remember this hearing they gave? I did stream it live. That was the one with the terrible sound where they're saying they're just hitting roadblock after roadblock, and kind of like the banner question that was asked there. Do you think we're getting close? And I think definitely. I mean, nobody wants to make the call and go over there and say, sorry, Congressman, you can't see that information. Okay, no one wants to be the person that does that. So the person that does that now, you can just trace along to where they go back. So this is the actual meeting that's coming up on Friday. Members of the House Oversight Committee will receive a classified briefing next week on unidentified anomalous phenomena. So they have had UAP briefings. If you remember, there was an interview basically after they came out. It was Tim Burchett. We had Jared Moskowitz here and Representative Luna. And the interview after their already classified briefing, they said that was totally worthless, totally worthless. And a lot of this I can attest to. You know, a lot of the stuff that is classified is just in the weeds. It goes down to some detail, some military detail, some issue. So why it matters: congressional interest in the issue has grown in recent years with a small but vocal group of lawmakers in both parties, pushing for greater transparency. So that is true, both parties in the Senate and the House, but it was specifically the leaders of the committees, which right now is Republicans, that have really shut it down. Mike Turner was named basically as the top of that, as well as Mike Rogers. So driving the news, the members only briefing will be held in the Office of House Security on January 12th, according to sources familiar. The briefing is being provided by the Office of Inspector General of the Intelligence Community. So the Inspector General, they're on bases as well. They're on Air Force bases. Each base I was on had an Inspector General who was like a lieutenant colonel, and he was like a commander. You know, he maybe he had been a squadron commander, and now they didn't know what to do with him. You know, or he was going to be a squadron commander, but then at the last minute he didn't like make it up to mustard, or the real commander didn't want him, right? Because picking your squadron commanders and your leaders, that's like, I guess, the only true power maybe the leaders have, even if they have that. So picking these leaders is really important. And the IG on every base, he would be like a guy who wanted to be a squadron commander. He was on the track up, and he didn't make it, or he's in a holding pattern. So then they would just put him over here into the inspector general position. So I wouldn't say it's a sought after position at all. Like, I don't think people want to be the IG. Nobody really wants to be the inspector general. And I've seen where it didn't go well. The inspector general actually wasn't a trusted person as well. So anyway, so that ICIG, he has been briefed by David Grusch, and he should have all the information. And now he can give that information, to the Congress people. It's just another verification that, hey, we've back checked what Grusch said, and all the stuff he said is legitimate. All right, make sure I'm not like on mute or something. This new microphone. Okay, so that's the Inspector General, and here you go. A bipartisan group of oversight committee members led by Representative Tim Burchett sent a letter, that was last August, if you remember, to Intel Community Inspector General Thomas Monheim, and they were requesting more details. So I'm guessing this is what we're getting out of it. So the lawmakers also formed a congressional UAP caucus. So there is a UAP caucus consisting of Burchett and Reps Jared Moskowitz, Anna Paulina Luna, Nancy Mace. Okay, I haven't seen her name before. Eric Burleson and Annie Ogles. Okay, interesting. We just want transparency. So that'll happen on Friday. Already right out the door. Pretty awesome. I mean, it's not open hearings. I think what we really need is subpoena authority and open hearings. But I think sooner or later we should be able to get it. All right. So thanks again for those super chats. Thank you so much. Okay, and let's see. Next story I wanted to share with you guys. Let me bring this up here in the background. Again, live shows. Hope you're liking it. It's a lot more exciting. Oh, before we go to that, Eric Davis. Yes, completely. So Carl Crusher, I shared it on X. Carl Crusher has a great video he made recently talking about Eric Davis. And originally I kind of discounted Eric Davis. I don't know. His name keeps coming up as a scientist. He worked with Hal Puthoff. He's all the DRIDs. He wrote all the DRIDs. His name has come up so many times. It's really interesting. But if you look, Leslie Kean, and I think all the veteran researchers, respected researchers in the field really respect Eric Davis. Anyone who's worked with Eric Davis or knows him for a long period of time vouches for his integrity. I remember Leslie Kean really vouched for his integrity. And so if Eric Davis is legit, man, that would be amazing, because the Eric Davis memo, the Wilson Davis notes, right, that basically says Eric Davis asked Admiral Wilson, and Wilson explained all about how he tried to get access to this program that was looking into UAPs. He could not gain access. If you remember back in what hearing was that with Moultrie? Remember the terrible hearing? Oh, with Moultrie and Bray. Remember that debacle? Well, anyway, Gallagher, if you also remember during that hearing, Gallagher, he entered Solis's case into the record. And if I remember correctly, he also entered Eric Davis, the Wilson Davis notes, into the congressional record. So that should be in the record. There's no way the Intel or any of those community members, the next time they stand up there, can say, oh, we don't know about the Wilson Davis memo. So I would say that's a great start. Just start right there. List everyone that gets named on those notes. I would just start there. I mean, it seems like the best place. The other interesting thing I noticed about the Eric Davis, Wilson Davis memo is if you read in it, the alleged re-engineering program, right? The UAP engineering program, they say they were almost caught because of an audit. So there was actually an audit that almost caught them, some years prior. So that would be the other thing, is follow the money. So that should be Congress's authority, is start naming names and then audit. So where is the money? And there's just no answer, right? If they have to supply where the money goes. They just have to. There's no way you cannot do that. So this whole thing that Tim Burchett is leaning on, like, where's the money? Why are the audits not passing? I think they should really lean on that. I think that should be leaned on hugely. Just go for the money. Starve these programs of money. What do they all really care about at the end of the day? Getting funded. I think that's what they really, really care about. All right. So let's go to the update. This is from Norway. Okay, so cool. All right, so this is Subsea Fosen. So I talked to Runa, right? If you've been keeping track, sorry about this. if you've been keeping up with the Norway, basically I went up there in October and went to Lake Gypsjøen up in Norway, and they have an object that is down at the bottom of this lake. And you can actually see up on the image here, this is the multi-sonar, the actual ground or the radar. Okay, so the radar that they're using, sonar, I guess, sorry. Sonar that's showing an object here, and we'll have better photos. Let's go through the photos here. And this is the team of 4 people. Okay, so there's going to be 4 people on this team. And let me go, while I'm going through these photos, I'll bring up their actual release. Okay, so this is the first photo. This is the crazy gear, crazy headsets that they wear. Headset. There you go. Runa said each one of these is, I think, $6,000 to $10,000. So here we go. Statement for your show about Subsea Fosen AS's diving operation in Gypsjøen. Today, we have had a meeting with Runa where he tells us a little about the story behind the object in Gypsjøen. Okay, so this is these guys. They're the divers and the process that has taken place up to date. Based on this information, we have drawn up a rough plan for how our part of the operation will take place. We know the approximate location of the cigar-shaped object. We know based on measurements taken from previous surveys, we have assumed that it lies across a valley at the bottom at a depth of about 22 meters. So you can see it there. It shows up pretty well. This is a different image I asked. Here, you see it looks much more cylindrical shaped on that image. So that's a new image. He blurred this out because you could actually tell exactly where it was from that. Okay, and these guys, so they're interested, actually. So Runa, he said he wasn't sure, okay? And I wasn't necessarily after the last dive, but these guys think there really is an object down there. From what they've seen looking at it, they believe there is something there. So they're excited. They are going to go and do it. So they're going to dive in the coldest month of Norway under this lake. I think they have this is what they'll have. So they have lights, cameras. They also have rovers, and we'll go through kind of their plan. They will use a bigger chainsaw. He said they will have a bigger chainsaw than this. So the object, it's at a depth of about 22 meters. That's Erling Strand by the blue box. There's Runa. Okay. I mentioned about this guy. He's going to be out there for 3 months. Just camping, ski camping. These guys, the Norwegians, man, you guys are awesome. Okay, look at that thing. Okay, so this is the multi-beam radar sonar. So I keep saying radar, sorry. Sonar, right? But that's the multi-beam of the object. The object measures at least 12 meters. Runa has pictures from this in Subsea Fosen AS. We are commercial divers. This is our livelihood. In commercial diving, there are strict rules regarding safety. We're subject to the Norwegian Labor Inspection Authority. We follow something called Norwegian Diving and Treatment Tables V5. This determines how long we can dive at different depths. So they have to use different tables and calculate nitrogen saturation in the blood before and after dives. This is our Bible. Considering that Gypsjøen is about 700 meters above sea level, we are also punished at our bottom time. Due to the natural buildup of nitrogen in the blood you get when you move up in height. To compensate for this, it is necessary for us to travel up to the location the day before the dive to acclimatize the body before the dive. This will then allow us to make longer dives. According to the Norwegian Labor Inspection Authority's rules, their rules regarding work diving, a diving team must consist of at least 4 people, supervisor, diver, standby diver, and tender. We will provide 5 men. The diver receives surface-supplied air through a hose and has communication and video up to the supervisor who sits on the surface. You can see the location right there. Okay, and this is that little valley they're talking about. So Runa got the actual contours of the bottom, and this is where the object sits. And he thinks that's why they can't see it. It's in a little, valley, a little crevice. We'll provide 5 men. The diver receives surface-supplied air through a hose and has communication and video feed up to the surface who sits on the surface. Video and communication are stored. The diving operation itself will start with sawing holes in the ice. The ice is estimated to be up to 1 meter thick. We do this with a chainsaw, hoe, and good cheer. The hole must be at least 1 meter by 1 meter in order for the diver to safely get down and out of the water. We saw the hole directly over the assumed position of the object and use a downline rope of the weight. Due to bottom conditions, we will try not to mess too much on the bottom as this will ruin visibility. Uh-oh. Due to bottom conditions, yep. We initially think of swimming 1 meter above the bottom with a metal detector to possibly find the object and or reveal that it's something metallic. So they do want to go with the metal detector first to see if it is a metal object first. We also bring a stick with us, which we can use to poke into the mud. This is kind of, I guess, their last ditch. If there's something hard under the mud, we will then be able to find this. If we find an object, we want to uncover it to confirm what it might be. For this, we have several options. So this is kind of an issue because you don't want to dig up all the dirt on the ground. You won't be able to see anything. The first option is to use a water ejector. This is very effective, and you can move away a lot of mass in a short time. The flip side is that with 100% certainty, it spoils visibility for quite a while, 1 to 2 hours. Option 2 is to use a water suction. With this, we suck the masses away and can more controllably put masses away from the work site. This is not as effective, but can potentially provide better visibility at the bottom. In any case, we are thinking of bringing equipment for both solutions. We provide all the equipment we need to do this. It will be possible for other observers to see here on screen what the diver see and does. Okay, and he also sent, like I said, these pictures. Okay, excellent. So that's the update from Subsea Fosen. They're going to go down in February. Rune also said this is the coldest winter that they've had, I think, in 60 years or 70 years since 1943. I think it's the coldest winter they've had up there. So it's going to be cold. There is a big winter festival in February. So I don't know. I would like to go. So I've had some patrons. I know Bill Ferguson said I should go. I want to go. But like I said, it takes a lot of time and money. I have 3 kids. So I'm going to try and make it happen. But we'll see. All right. Thanks to Christian, we're all astronauts on the spaceship of Earth. That's so true, right? This spaceship, man, is getting pretty interesting. Okay. Did I cover everything? I missed this one. Thanks, Khalil. Today in a Facebook group, Eric Davis himself posted that he is the one who told Grusch about the crash retrieval program. Wow. Okay. Darn it, man. I hope Eric Davis is legit. That's the problem with these just so few sources, right? If you have one source that's not correct and he is in every location. Okay, thanks again for the super chats, everyone. Obviously, I completely appreciate it. All right. Okay, so that is the update for Norway. We have 750 people here. Welcome. This is a live stream, so new setup. You'll see I have a new camera setup. I got this new fancy microphone. Hopefully it sounds better to you guys. Let's start taking questions. Or I like this one. Everyone should form their own opinions on everything. I agree. I really don't think remote viewing is a fraud. If you look at the actual data from it, it's legitimate. So I don't know. I haven't seen the JellyFish UAP. Is that what just came out? I heard they were going to release something this week, right? But I haven't heard it. I'm sorry. Davis tells Grusch. So what? Yeah, I don't know. James Cameron's very stoked, though. He definitely thinks something is going to happen. Do you hold any water with Ashton Forbes and his totally ridiculous MH370 claims? So I did 2 live streams with Ashton, right? I mean, the whole story is amazing. The reason I got involved is the videos. I thought the videos are just quite compelling on their own, right? On their own side merit. Just the IR, the video, the thermal video is really interesting to me. It seems very accurate that it looks like it did come from a drone or someone that really knows how drones would operate or how to create it. The actual video of the aircraft looks legitimate. So I don't know. If anything, it seems like it would be a faked video of a real of a real video, where they faked over on top of it, as well as I mentioned before, the satellite. The satellite video is very interesting to me. I will say though, I haven't seen any satellite video. I've gotten word through my source. People asked, is there any background information? I have heard, hearsay background information that's not what satellite video looks like, or that's not what the actual targeting satellites video looks like. I haven't talked to someone who knows that firsthand. I've heard it through secondhand sources. So I've never seen the satellite video myself. We did see the Trump leak. The Trump leak from the satellite, from the, what was it, the SAM explosion, the rocket explosion in Iran, where they had the accident in 2019. That shows that we have amazing satellite capability, right? And if you actually look, so I did some investigating. It turns out we have at least, I think, 9 Hubble quality satellites in space, at least the US has, pointing down, right? It's not pointing out at the cosmos. We have 1 Hubble looking out at the cosmos, and we have who knows how many of these satellites looking down. So that's why I got involved. That being said, Ashton, yeah, the whole community is, they're aggressive. They're very sensitive, right? If you say anything against them, they get very defensive. I mean, I could see I know how they feel, and that's fine. I'm glad they're searching. I'm glad they're looking. I believe, just from working with Ashton, that he has the right things in his heart. I think maybe he is doing it the right reason, or at least believes he's doing it for the right reasons. So that's where I leave it at. As far as after my live streams, it was a hoax, right? So he found out that the photos that they showed him were hoaxed. So somebody was messing with them, obviously, and that's where it sits now. So that's how I'd leave it. I don't know. What do you guys think? That's why I got involved. I'm not afraid to talk about it, but I don't think it really. I would be surprised if it's legitimate at this point, but I'm glad they're looking. I haven't seen the JellyFish video. Opinion on the Miami Hall Monsters. Thank you, Ryan Wood. Awesome, man. Congrats for winning second place. Thank you, and much love for what you do. All right. Thanks, Ryan. And yes, so I had, let's see. I actually had that prepared. Let's look at this. I can't seem to find too much more about it, I mean, so what they're saying, at least on the news, is that it's not 10-foot aliens, right? It's basically there were 3 people walking together, and that's what the people are saying the aliens were. So I haven't seen any compelling videos from Miami. All I've seen is a lot of cops and a lot of mayhem, right? Probably the videos that you've seen. And what they're saying basically in the news, this news story is saying that it was a bunch of kids that went and shot a bunch of firecrackers and were rioting. I've seen on X also is that you have people saying all these crazy stories about aliens, etc., that they took everyone's phones. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen anything really worth or that seems compelling to me. I don't know. If you guys know something different, let me know. But that's what they're saying, at least in the news, is that it was just a large police force. Yeah. It is interesting, though. You're seeing it more, right? That they go to aliens now. People think it could be more real, even though there's really nothing coming out of this. So, all right. Yeah, so that's what I had written down for the Miami. Let's see next on my list. What do you guys have? Keep naming names. Okay, we went through the meeting, Eric Davis memo. I want to talk a little bit about I was reading today about local and minimum maximums, and this is kind of just what when you think about progress, is you can get into what's considered a local maximum. And what this means is it doesn't matter either way you go, you think that you're going the wrong direction, right? Because you're going down. You guys can see that, right? If we go, on the left on the graph, maybe I can blow this up. No. Oh, man. Can you see that? Live TV. All right. So, if either way you go in this graph, right, it goes down. So when you're at a local maximum, the world can never get better. Your position can never get better because you're like, oh, if we go this way, right? If we go back the way we're going, things get worse. But if we continue going forward and progress, things get worse. So what happens is you get in these system. I think we're in a system now where the system is progressing. Okay, it is progressing, but we're in a local maximum because the current system is trying to stabilize it. It's trying to not change. Okay, because they're making all the money. They have all the power, and although maybe they hate their lives, right? Maybe they hate themselves, but they see no way out because either way you go, it's down, right? Everything's going down. But what I want to show is this is a normal growth curve for bacteria, okay? So an empirical model of the evolution of a quantity over time. And what's here is bacterial growth. In this example, the number of bacteria present in a nutrient-containing broth was measured during the course of an 8-hour cell growth experiment, right? And what happened was it grew in a biphasic way because two different sugars were present, glucose and lactose. So the bacteria basically, they're going to use the glucose first, right? In phase 1, the bacteria prefer to consume glucose, phase 1. And they only use the lactose, right? They only use the lactose after the glucose has been depleted. Okay, so basically they're going to grow. And then here they're going to hit, if you see here, a local maximum. Okay, and now they're not going to grow because they're transitioning from one system to another. You know, one system to another. But what you're going to see here is you're going to see it's going to slightly go negative or stabilize. And I think that's what we're in the period right now where we're going to see this massive breakout in growth. And I know you can feel it. And the old system is like freaking out right now. And this is what all the negativity and the depression and the war fighting and everything, this is what it's coming from, is the previous system, an extraction age system, which sounds like it's been around for around 10,000 years, is breaking. Okay. And it's really breaking to allow growth of the next system, which hopefully, if you follow Tony Seba or any of my other theory videos, is going to be the age of freedom, right? This could actually be the age of abundance for humans. And what I want to just point out here is there is these local maximums. And I just think we're in a local maximum now until we get to another growth curve. I thought that was really important to think about. So this is why I'm optimistic. I really feel like we're right here. This is like humanity, first industrial age, and now we're going to second industrial, or hopefully a better age where humans actually have a say, because we're seeing through. We can see through, right? You can really see everything that's wrong. It's like an X-ray of the system and all the corruption. And I had written down here as well as Lloyd Austin. Okay, so Lloyd Austin, and I didn't have his name up, but he's basically your SecDef right now. And let me see if I can find. And so he was sick, 4 days, and he didn't say anything about it. Let's look at Lloyd Austin, right? So this guy, I have a story. I worked with was a commercial pilot. He wouldn't let me release his name, but he was Air Force. And he was actually working in Afghanistan as one of the senior aides for the generals, basically the general leading it, okay? Lloyd Austin now, he showed up with his whole crew. And this was during COVID. Everyone, in order to get into Afghanistan, you had to be vaccinated, right? This was the military. You had to be vaccinated. This guy, and again, this is all secondhand information. He said almost no one on the plane was vaccinated. Almost no one on the plane. This was in the middle, Lord Austin, this guy shows up with his crew. None of them are vaccinated, right? Can you imagine? This was the time when the administrations were saying everyone has to get vaccinated. That's who this guy is, Lloyd Austin, right? This is our SecDef, right? And he was literally a director for Raytheon. I mean, the guy is a board director for Raytheon. Like how much sketchier does it have to be? Like, we don't even have to look very far to see the corruption. And he's got pink eye or something, man. Looks rough. Like I said, I don't think these people may hate their lives. They may hate themselves. They're just in the system. But this guy, again, part of the problem. And I'll say it now as I'm so optimistic for this year. Okay. And really the reason is finally we have at least there's two candidates for president, right? RFK Jr. is an amazing candidate. The CIA killed his uncle. The CIA killed his dad. And he's not for either one of the parties, right? He's not on either one of the military industrial complexes hit list, right? If you don't like Biden, great, but you don't have to like Trump either, like the worst person. These are our two options, right? The worst ever and the worst ever. But you don't have to pick that, okay? We can choose someone else. And now we have RFK Jr., which is amazing. And you also have Vivek Ramaswamy, right? Those two guys are outside candidates. One's independent and one is for the Republican Party. You don't have to vote for Biden or Trump. And I would say we should not. We should not. Because, again, these are the Biden administration is the same administration basically as the Obama administration. Those are the same people that still hid all of this stuff. Those are the same people that are still hiring people like this, okay? This guy's the director of he's on the board for Raytheon. Let's make him the SecDef. He obviously knows what he's doing, okay? Yeah, terrible. I mean, we can do better. And I think we're going to. I mean, RFK Jr., he has the highest percentage already. And most people don't even know about him. So awesome. So pick one of those guys. One of them. All right. It is. I mean, it is corrupt, right? And you can look at it. It's legal. It's legal corruption. These guys aren't doing anything even against the law. They literally wrote the law so they can do whatever they want. Unfortunately, it's the lobby groups and the corporations that have so much power and so much money, they're able to steamroll any single people. I mean, think about it. You have how many Supreme Court justices, right? All people can be reached. All people can be leaned on, can be trapped, right? All of them can be propagandized. So 8 people, it's so limited. And you have these lobbying groups. Anyone in the world can actually give money to any of our Congress people. So going to be a huge issue. But we know this now and we can see it. And that was the whole point when they said that when the Supreme Court in 2010, during the case against Citizens versus FEC, right? When they said that lobby groups have the First Amendment, the freedom of speech, so they can give money to any candidate, what they said was as long as it's transparent, so that people like you and me, we the people, right? We the people, not the lobbyists, can see this and make the appropriate decision. The appropriate decision should be to not vote for any of these DMFs. That's what it should be, to vote for someone else, not on their list. Easy solution. Okay. All right. Already talked about that. Okay. I had an interesting thought I wanted to bring out as well. Hope you guys are enjoying this. Thanks again for being here. 2024 is going to be nuts. I want to talk about the photovoltaic effect. Okay. And how it's related to the ice cube neutrino. So if you remember, the ice cube neutrino is that crazy machine down in Antarctica, right? And Heckert, he supposedly says that it is a laser, so it can be actually used as a weapon. I was just reading about the photovoltaic effect, okay? The photovoltaic effect, this is the generation of electric current, right? Upon exposure to light. So think about that. And I've said this before, this is why we're going to see immediately, and it's happening right now, is an energy revolution across this whole planet. The reason is we're finally able to get passive electricity straight from the sun. Okay, there's no moving parts in this system. All that happens is the sun, light hits a certain material, right? Use semiconductor or any metal, I guess, and it will create an electric current. Okay, that is unbelievable. And this is why this is why Albert Einstein got his Nobel Prize, was he found this, the photovoltaic effect. Okay, and I like it's not named after him. Okay, you just named it after what it is. Okay, so this is the photovoltaic effect. What's interesting about the photovoltaic effect, if you look at it, is that what it is light hitting a semiconductor and then creating energy, right? So you're converting light into electrical energy. You do this through some sort of diode, right? Usually a diode, a PN junction. You see here, a rectifying junction. So it fills one of those bands on the atom, right? And it jumps and removes the electron. This is their idea. So now, what if you went the other way? This is what I'm promoting is in the ice cube neutrino detector, right? Neutrinos aren't observed directly. So how are they observed? They're observed when the neutrinos actually interact with and produce electrically charged secondary particles, right? So the muons and whatever others radiation particles they're going to create, right? They're able to make those angles, and that emits Cherenkov light. This is like that Mach effect where it builds up, the light builds up, and that's why they do it in the ice, so they can see this Cherenkov light. So the Cherenkov light is then picked up by the ice cube's photodiodes. Does that make sense? So all those, whatever, how many, 5,180 diodes that are in the ice cube neutrino detector, those detect light. Those are light detectors. So if you think about it, light detectors, what if you could turn that the other way? What if you could put energy from the other direction? Would they create light? Would it actually create light to create a laser? That's what I was looking into, right? And then I found this. I don't know if you guys have even heard of this. Is a free electron laser generator. I had never heard of this. Let me see if you can read this. Because I started thinking, well, how do lasers even work? And it's pretty amazing. This free electron laser generator is a new type of high power coherent radiation source, different from traditional laser generators. It doesn't need gas, liquid, or solid as a working material, but directly converts the kinetic energy of high energy electron beam into coherent radiation energy. Therefore, it can also be considered that the working substance of the free electron generator is free electrons. So instead of using like a gas that they use for like this gaining material, what they use is free electrons. So what does this mean? Except for it, there's no laser generator that can have these features at the same time. So this high power, high efficiency, wide range of wavelength tuning and time structure of ultra-short pulses. It has considerable prospects in the fields of physics research, laser weapons, laser fusion, photochemistry, and optical communications. So I thought that was just quite interesting on the photovoltaic effect, and could the ice cube neutrino actually be what could it even be possible that it's what Heckert says, and that it actually is some sort of laser energy weapon? And what you would do is you would shoot it up to space, and then you would use mirrors, basically satellites with mirrors, and you could, I guess, transfer energy or cook anything on the Earth. That's it. These are these free electron lasers. What I thought was really interesting is the way it works, and this is so funny to me. Is this is the laser, right? Normally it shoots a laser here and goes through. The way they make it strong is they wiggle it. They wiggle it really, really fast. They wiggle it and then make it go straight, and now it's like 1,000 times stronger. Now you have like this super laser. Yeah, anyway, thought that was interesting. Sorry for the tangent. All right, welcome to everybody. Okay, and then one final point I want to cover before I take a few more of your questions is the JWST, the crisis in cosmology. Okay, the crisis in cosmology that's been going on for decades. Okay, they just need to. It's not a crisis in cosmology anymore. Cosmology is dead. Just call it. It's over. Just move on. We've had a crisis for so many years, and let me show you what I mean here. That's funny. Watch this. I mean, he explains it so well right here. What is the crisis in cosmology? So that's a huge example right there. Okay, this is a great way to show it. This is what's called the distance ladder. Okay, if you think about us in the universe, how large is the universe? I mean, just go and watch any sort of zoom out video. I mean, it's insane. It's insane. Just the supercluster that we're in. our side of the galaxy. How many galaxies make up our local region? It's unbelievable, right? So if you just look at the scale and the size of the numbers and the magnitudes, my own argument is that there's no way that we know just from our little point in space that we can extrapolate from this one point, right? One point. We haven't really left Earth. From our one little point, we can extrapolate how the whole universe is made up and how old it is and everything. It's just stupid. It's just a stupid argument. And the cosmologists say all of this stupid shit. They really do. They say it like they know it. And they'll be like, well, we're looking for dark matter and we'll be happy if we're surprised. You should be surprised, okay? Because you've seen a crisis for decades. You've had a crisis. It's not a crisis anymore. You're wrong. You need a new theory, a new one. This one does not work. You need to find out what is going on. Personally, my own personal speculation is that it has everything to do with our distance measuring ladders. Okay, the ladder. When he says the ladder, the best way to think about this is it goes out in ranges. So this is like our normal solar system. You can use parallax, right? But outside of our solar system now, it doesn't matter. It's so far away. It doesn't matter if I'm here or if I'm here. I can't tell how far away it is. It's the exact same problem. The exact same problem that we have so many issues with UAP videos, right? Why can we not assess exactly the distance? Why is it the bugs? Okay, and the last interview I had with Lincoln Lounsbury, people came up and said it's probably bugs. And when you go and look, yeah, I mean, that it's great. It could be bugs. That's why I hope people try these things and watch the videos. Okay, so could it be bugs? Yeah, because why? Because we can't tell the distance. We can't tell the distance to the object. If we knew it was only a few inches away from the camera, if Lincoln knew that, and he says, I wrote to him actually an email and said, how do you know these aren't bugs? He says he does know why they're not bugs, and I'll get that information back to you guys. But if he knew it was only a few inches away from the camera, he would know it's a bug, right? Same thing looking out into space. So the same exact problems that we have here on Earth, just I can't tell if it's inches away or if it's, 100 miles away, right? Is that 100 miles away going 50,000 miles per hour around the Earth? Or is that 3 inches away, going a few 30 miles per hour, right? It's very hard to tell. And we have that same exact problem here on Earth. Why are we going to know somehow miraculously, I'm going to know how far away the end of the universe is? It's just so stupid. It's just ridiculous. It's unbelievable. So I really think it has something to do with this. So look, just watch the real quick. He explains it really well here. Oh, sorry. No sound. All right. Sorry, guys. Yeah. So basically, the sound should be playing there. So what he says is these are your CFIT variables. Okay. When he mentions the distance ladder, and you guys mentioned it there, I mentioned parallax. Okay. Then it gets out to how do you tell if something's really far away? How do you tell how far away it is? What they're using now is called CFIT variables. Okay. And if this one thing is wrong, then all of the rest of the measurements are incorrect. All of them, right? Doesn't work. Doesn't work. If your standard variable, it doesn't work. So what that means here is when they measure these stars, and the way I love it too, right? Is they say that we know how far away everything is because when these things spin, right? They just assume that how fast this thing spins is how bright it is. That's what they assume. This is the whole everything we know about how far away everything is in the universe is based on this assumption, right? That when this thing spins, how fast it spins or whatever, pulses, spins, that it's directly related to how far away it is. That is directly related to how strong the light is. This is the dumbest, again, this is the dumbest thing ever, right? If this one thing is wrong, one thing is not even wrong, just slightly off, it will skew all of our results. It skews all of our results. Okay, so this is your Cepheid variable. And then they use Cepheid variables in other galaxies. So it basically, it's the whole ladder. Okay, so if you assume this is correct, and you assume also that the speed of light is always the same across space, then you will end up with an expanding universe. That's what will happen. You'll end up with the expanding universe. And that's the problem. Will the universe expand forever? Okay. And this is the question he's asking, right? He's not asking, is the universe actually expanding? Do you realize that? The right question is the universe actually expanding? Because I don't think it is, personally. Or if it is, at least what they're saying is not good good evidence for it. Because light changes speed through all other mediums, right? If light goes through water, it goes through a different speed than if it goes through air. The assumption that our scientists make, again, because I think we're all morons, is that light doesn't change speed when it goes through space. It does not change speed when it goes through space, right? Because there's nothing in space. Space is not really there. It's like some imaginary lack of something that we don't understand, right? Even though it changes speed through all other mediums, we say light doesn't change speed through space, right? Even though we just found that gravity waves actually do propagate through space, and they propagate at light speed. So what are gravity waves propagating through if they're not propagating through space as a thing, as an actual thing, right? So here's the thing. The redshift that they say is because the universe is expanding. If light just travels a little bit slower through the medium over whatever quadrillion Google miles through space, if it's a little bit slower, then you will get a redshift. You'll get the same freaking redshift that we're seeing, right? You'll get the same thing. So the question they should be asking is the universe expanding? They should be going back to their original assumptions. But for some reason, they just cannot, because they're so used to just being right or just telling each other things. I don't know what it is, right? So here's the thing, and look at this video, okay? This video is from 2 years ago. And sorry you can't hear the sound, but what he says at the beginning is, 2 years ago, the crisis in cosmology was raging, okay? So that was 2 years ago from 2 years ago. So that was 4 years ago from now. And now, if we go to just a month ago, now we go back to Dr. Becky here, or Dr. Becky. New study just made the crisis in cosmology worse, okay? So it's getting worse. It's like, okay, it was still there 4 years ago, 2 years ago it was there, and every year there's not a crisis, guys. It's over. There was an accident, cosmology died, and they need something else. They need something else, okay? And the reason is, the closer and closer they get to anything, okay? This is their one model, it's off. This is their other model based on the CMB, it's off. Okay, so distance ladder is here. CMB, cosmic microwave background, is here. These are both off. They don't match with each other, meaning their models do not match with reality, and they don't match with each other, meaning they're wrong. I don't know what's so hard about this. And they keep pining on about dark matter. We're looking for dark matter, dark energy. You should be looking for why you are so dumb. Anyway, I'm sure they're pretty smart, but blinded, man. Totally blinded by bias. It's blinded. And it's been 40 years. I'm just tired of it. And so I think that's where we're going to see the breakthroughs, right? What are the biggest things we don't understand? The two biggest areas in science I think we don't understand is the outer universe, cosmology, and the inner universe, the consciousness, right? We have no idea. I've said repeatedly before that there's no place in our science, in our math, in our models for consciousness, right? For the observer effect. Where is consciousness in all of our models, in our mathematical models, in physics, in science? And they say, there's these arguments from Penrose, et cetera, that it comes from microtubules, that the actual matter in your brain is inventing the conscious experience, right, of microtubules. Well, I've been thinking about this the last few weeks or months. And I think consciousness may be in our physics. It may actually be there. Because if you think about it, if you think about the general Einstein's theory of general relativity, what did they find? Is everything is related to the observer's perspective, right? If you think about it, all of his mental experiments, all of his mental models, when I'm going really fast and time travel is normal for me, but then I pass you, right? But you can't go faster than the speed of light, etc. If you've been to all those physics models, if you remember back in physics class, if you think about it, it all goes to the observer, right? Everything in Albert Einstein's general relativity models is based on the perspective of the observer. Could this be the observer effect? Could this be where consciousness actually resides? Like, that is the consciousness. It's like consciousness could be actually a point, right? That emerges inside when you get enough cells together or something. And now that is actually where the observer is. And we also see the observer effect. Maybe this is consciousness in all the quantum experiments, in the double slit, right? Is that consciousness? Could that be proof of consciousness? So maybe consciousness is the observer in general relativity. So I thought of that as well. All right. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that tangent. Okay, Chris, this would be on topic. Check out this interesting discussion between Donald Hoffman and an Indian monk, Conscious Reality, Unraveling the Mind, with Donald Hoffman and Swami Sarvapanyananda. Say that 10 times. I think I have maybe watched this. I did watch, and I'm not sure if it's the same. He's a famous meditator, so I don't know his name. It's a long name like that again. And I'm planning to make a video on it. He says he actually, in his meditations, he does see what is called, I think, Ghana. And these are, could be ETs or other forms of intelligence. Thought that was quite interesting. So I think those are the two areas, really, to get back, those are the two areas we're really going to find major breakthroughs, is going to be in the outer universe, where you can see in our physics that we really don't know what the hell's going on. It's ridiculous. I just wish they would open up their minds. They keep saying they want to, and they're, or physics guys, we can't wait to find something, when we're wrong, we love it. And I'm like, it doesn't look like you love it. It looks like you just keep saying that there's a crisis, but nothing's happening, for that and consciousness. So I think consciousness, and we're going to see huge breakthroughs this year. Neuralink actually is going to have they're going to have 4 humans. They're going to put in their little Fitbit into the brain, and we're going to learn so much more about the brain. It's just going to be nuts. Okay. Awesome. Consciousness is dark matter. I think you're right, Mark Santos. Basically, I think we're going to find, and this is my last kind of story, and I didn't bring it up, but on K12B, one of my most popular videos was on JWST, right? If you remember, it was 2 years ago. If you've seen it, red thumbnail, that will JWST actually bring us the proof of aliens? That was John Ramirez's main argument, is that JWST, miraculous that it worked, right? Thank God it's out there actually working. Hopefully it's really there, getting all these images. So what he said is JWST is going to find things that they're not going to be able to hide from us. Meaning there's going to be planets nearby that maybe we will see. And they are finding on K12-18b, they found actual DMS, dimethyl sulfide. This is only produced by plankton as far as we know. They've also found everywhere, we found organic compounds in the cosmos. So looking in nebulas, now that we have spectrographs, we can spectrograph and actually from the light that's coming off of these gases, essentially, only the gases have clear spectral lines. Now we can see what gas elements are in the atmosphere, right? This is quite interesting because a solid body or a liquid is not going to have spectral lines. You may have seen, I released that about the sun, that the sun is most likely a liquid. It's not a plasma and it's not a gas. And so another argument is we don't know what the sun is really made of. How do we know when the universe started? So I don't know, I guess they should get back to just basics, man. Get back to basic assumptions. This is what's good about war. What's good about war is that I did like, what drew me to it is you can argue truth and whatever in arguments, but when it comes down to who shoots who first, it doesn't matter really what you think. Like the Iraqis, we bombed their JDAM. We bombed their GPS jammers with JDAMs, that are GPS guided weapons. So I think that's just what they haven't gotten in academia. Like academia needs their ass kicked by someone. They need an enemy really to come in, like beat them up. I don't know, like something. They just need they need something. All right, sorry guys, it's late here, but K12B, they found dimethyl sulfide. We've actually found possibilities of phosphorus in Venus. So you could have actually layers of the clouds in Venus that could have life in them. So we could find actually we have life not just in the universe, but actually find life in our solar system. So I think that could happen in 2024. So I would say amazing stuff, guys. 2023 was just an amazing year for me. I was going to make a video basically going back through it. So much happened. It's just unbelievable. And I think looking back at 2023, at the beginning, I was excited. I didn't think we'd get this far, but now that we're there, I think we need to just keep pushing. And I think we can see it. And all the people in the know behind the scenes say that more is coming. If you look at James Fox, he says that basically David Grusch will be verified. Essentially, you'll have people with direct claims. So above David Grusch, worse than David Grusch, I guess. If pro disclosure, better for disclosure. People coming out that will be speaking up. James Fox talked about this. Leslie Kane has talked about. She knows people on. She said it on the channel here. So things are going to happen, and it's starting this Friday. So it's going to happen very quickly. We should be optimistic. Okay, the worst thing that can possibly happen, and I've considered making a video on it. The worst thing that can happen right now is if the U.S., because it's being passed by China as the global hegemon. In the past, if you look in the past, previous hegemons, when they're being passed by a new upstart, that is a time they just can't help it get into a war with this upstart hegemon. Okay. Normally, this is what's required to reset the system, because as you're changing hegemons, normally the world order will change because the new hegemon comes in. The new hegemon, in this case, will be China based on economics, because they've already passed the US in GDP. They're 4 times the population, and all they have to do is be 1/4 as good at working, right? And the Chinese are pretty hard. They're pretty good at working. So they've already passed the GDP. They will quadruple the US's GDP sometime in the future. So as the hegemon passes, what will happen is the world order has to change. Normally, that's through a giant war, if you look back in history. So we're in that time right now where it's really dangerous, where miraculously, even though we've been able to avoid any conflict with China for who knows how many hundreds of years, now it'll just happen that this year will be an instigate. There'll be some instigation. A ship will get hit, or they'll shoot at something, or there'll be a crash and we don't know who did it, or something will blow up, a ship will blow up and we don't know, right? There'll be something that happens, and it'll be on this friction point related around Taiwan, right? This island that who cares about Taiwan? I'm sorry, but I don't. Yeah, never been there. I'm sure it's a nice place. If China invades Taiwan, it will be terrible for Taiwan. I mean, and China. It'll be terrible for China. We don't also need to get involved. We really don't. But we will. You'll see. There'll be a huge drag. Already when I was leaving the Air Force, before I even left, this was in 2018, huge meetings, thousands of people, all of the Air Force leaderships, and the general, 4-star general, standing on stage, behind him, huge Chinese flag, and all he says the whole time is, "This is the enemy, and they're coming. We need drones, over the horizon drones. We're going to be doing stupid shit." I mean, it's so stupid. We don't need to fight China. We're moving to, we will have more resources than we possibly need within 10 years. All we have to do is not freak out. Okay. It will change. A lot of things are going to change. The electrical, it's all going to change. We're going to go to electrical grid very quickly, very, very quickly. I know you guys don't see it coming, but it's happening. It's happening very quickly. So it's going to go electric very quickly. And we're going to see an amazing, amazing tech breakthroughs in the next 10 years where we really can clean up this whole planet. The key is right now, we need to make the right decisions to not freak out, Just don't go attacking anyone. Okay, just don't attack anyone. Just don't go shoot someone. How hard is that? Just don't go shoot anybody. Like hold your gun in your pants. That's all we need to do. Okay, and then I think we'll get through just fine. So, all right, guys, that's all I have. That's their idea, man. Drones and shit. I'm not joking. Over the horizon. That's what everybody says. Grid's not going to fail, man. It'll fail if you look at it from the old perspective. That's the point. This is how they look at it here. This is how you look at the old world right here. We can't do it. Our grid can't support it. Yeah, your grid cannot support this energy. Certainly can't. Okay? We have to actually get there. But it can happen in such a quick time. Less than 10 years. Less than 10 years, we'll get to a fully renewable grid. I know nobody believes this, but it's going to happen. You can see it. And right now, we're being led by China. China made 90%. 90%, I believe. It's 70 to 9. I think it was 90% of your solar last year was made by China. China is winning the renewable global revolution. And whoever wins there will get superabundance quicker. So, all right. I think I can, D-Stu. I got it here while I was talking. Okay. Sorry, I missed you guys. Regarding MH370, so where is the plane? What is your theory? Thanks for the channel. Hi, JML. From the beginning, I thought it was personally, if it's real, if the videos are real, and the reason I was engaged is because the videos are very compelling. They match each other. It seems very difficult to fake back in 2014. And why would you fake it? Those are the reasons I got involved. From my view, that looked like a test. That's what I thought. And I guess I would still think that is, could it have been actual footage from a test done by this re-engineering program? That was my guess. In that case, maybe they're trying to transport it somewhere else. I mean, at that point, if it's real, that's still an insane story. But that was my impression, that it was a test. The actual MH370, the plane itself, I don't know. All the other things around that, yeah. All right. So I found your comment, D-Stu. Again, thanks everyone for the support. I appreciate it. Yeah, going up to Norway is not cheap, okay? It's not cheap. It's one of the most expensive countries, and taking time away from my kids as well. Yeah, it's difficult to go up there. So I definitely appreciate it. If you guys do want me to go to Norway, if you do want to see that content, please consider donating. I would really appreciate it. I would like to go. So that's what I'd say on the MH370. Not sure. Look forward to your take on Corbell's video of military scope following a UAP with tentacle-looking things. Heat, cool signatures. All right, I have to see this. It must have just released. Interesting. All right, I'll check it out for sure. I love Donald Hoffman. Donald Hoffman, yeah, I think my views are really around Donald Hoffman, Bernard Kastrup. Bernard Kastrup, he's made some amazing videos lately on Essentia Foundation on that YouTube. They're going viral, actually, some pretty viral videos. So yeah, Bernard Kastrup is his idealism, basically, linked with Donald Hoffman knows the computer science side of it. Those are kind of the two angles I go. And Michael Levin on the biogenetics. And Michael Levin had interesting. It was his interview, I believe, with Lex Friedman. What they did is he would take out the skin cells, right? Take a skin cell and remove the outer layer around it. And what would happen is, sorry about that, the little cell inside, the human cell, would go around and do other things. So once it was freed up of not being a skin cell anymore, a normal skin cell went and did other things, like whatever it wanted to do. It was like it had its own agency. Yeah, very interesting. Sergeant Clifford Stone, crash retrieval team. Would defense ever comment on his testimonies? What about NASA answering regarding ex-employee testimonies? Organized public press conference, worthy idea. Sergeant Clifford Stone. I haven't heard of that guy. I mean, none of these people want to answer any questions, right? Defense, they don't want to answer anything. We saw NASA for their UAP hearing. They answered the questions, but it wasn't the people that knew the information. They just put out people that didn't know the actual information. I'll look into that though. Sergeant Clifford Stone. All right, thanks. Thanks for the chat. Thoughts on the Temple torpedo? USAF instructor witnessed sighting of U.S.-made craft landed on a country road with a human pilot. Blue Book case 10270. The Temple torpedo. Maybe we can look it up now. Remember Blue Book? Luna said they mentioned Blue Book after before the first hearing. I was kind of expecting we get something out of it. I'll have to look that up later. Okay, well, thanks. Why is nobody interviewing Lockheed Martin? That's a good question. I mean, what a crazy year. What do you guys think is going to happen? And the election, man. It has to be on the election. It has to be on the election. I think I heard there must be questions. I have heard rumors. I don't want to say where it came from. That in the next debate there will be questions asked about UAPs. So I think we have RFK Jr. Just the fact he's still alive, like they haven't killed him yet, is so awesome. Just the fact he's there, just saying the things, and the same as from Vivek, from Ramaswamy. Disclosure 2026. We have to wait that long? No. Okay, the JellyFish UFO. All right, are we gonna have to look at it right now? All right, JellyFish UFO. I haven't heard of this. 2 hours ago. Okay. Oh, restricted. Damn it. News Nation is restricted. Okay, here we go. All right. Found it. All right, thanks. What the gel? Leaked U.S. military vid shows JellyFish UFO hurtling over Iraq as troops were told to hunt it down, says investigator. Nice. The UFO allegedly invaded a nuclear facility of the U.S. Oh, is that it right there? Sweet. Shocking footage reveals a jellyfish-looking UFO hurtling in the skies over Iraq. An investigative filmmaker has claimed. Jeremy Corbell said the leaked video was captured by the U.S. military in 2018, and troops were told to hunt it down. The jellyfish-looking UFO was allegedly filmed over Iraq in 2018. Okay, so this looks like targeting pod right here. Yeah, that should be a targeting pod. So let's see if we can look at it, or if it's going to be okay. Cool. What? Oh man, that's so creepy. Okay, so infrared, it's going to be a UAV. You know, like the angle, I feel like we're low. It feels like it's like helicopter altitudes or something. It's not that high. It's like 8,000 feet or something. Lower even. That's so awesome, man. Okay, that's a great video. It looks like they have it for a long time as well, and nothing's moving. Oh, man, that's so creepy. It reminds me of the witch, kinda the witch video, how it's moving. So I'd feel like we'd be able to tell if it's day or night. You can tell from the heat, because you get different differential, temperatures, right? So at night, the ground will be normally cooler than, like, cement, or the other way around. The cement will be cooler at night than the ground, right? If you look at these cars, right? So cold is gonna be white now, is what I would say. So it's probably black hot there. What happened? What That's a really good video. Let's see what the Daily Mail says. Not visible to the naked eye, hovering over town in video, buried by intelligence community. What is that thing, man? Wow, that's so creepy. I mean, and it's like changing color. I don't know. It looks so weird, like it's not moving in the wind. And how big is it? So you can tell, right? Usually it's not going to be bigger than anything behind it, right? Got to keep watching that thing. Wow, that was amazing. It must be on his X. So zoomed in. So, based on the size, it's going to be smaller than what's behind it, right? Because it's closer. So it's maybe a couple meters tall. what, the, what the hell, man? And it changes. Why would it change like that? It's like the temperature on it is changing, or the gain. I don't know why that would how that would even be happening, because you look, the background's not changing, like it's changing. Okay, so this is definitely black hot, right? So you see I'm guessing that's a cow. So that's black hot. So this thing's kind of warm right now. It's warm, so it's almost same temperature. That's a little darker as an animal, and like a jellyfish or something. Not a jelly, it's more like an octopus. It's able to change. That's just a weird image, man. What the hell? So it changed temperature all at the same time? Wow. Interesting. Is the auto contrast changing? It's not. If you look at the back, I can go to his X. Oh, cool. Okay, raw footage of a military filmed UAP incursion with a United States joint operation base. This UAP of unknown origin displayed trans-medium capability and has been officially designated by the United States intelligence agencies as a UAP. It looks, man, that just amazing. Raw footage received video 1, date time October 2018. So it says it is at night. It felt like at night because there was no shadows. You know, I was looking for shadows on those concrete containers because you can tell pretty easily that way. So it was taken at joint base operations in Iraq. I was at Balad in '06. Thermographic, forward-looking infrared. Seems like it's from. It feels like a UAV, but could be one of those little 238 or whatever twin engines, Cessnas. So, event description: an incursion by an object of unknown origin was filmed at a United States Joint Ops base in Iraq. The object was designated UAP and was tracked for a durational period. The object moved through a sensitive military installation and eventually traversed over a body of water where it actuated a controlled descent submerging into the water. Holy shit, look at that. After an observation period of about 17 minutes, the UAP reemerged from the body of water and shot off an extreme rate of speed. Holy shit, man. If that's real, that's amazing. How do they get that information? Beyond the optical scope of the observation platform. Okay, so it sounds like the platform watched it go underwater, come out, and then shoot off at an extreme rate of speed. The origin, intent, and capability of the anomalous area vehicle remains unknown. Official designation remains UAP. Additional details reported by direct eyewitnesses and those familiar with the full raw footage. So I guess this isn't the full raw footage. The UAP displayed trans-medium capability into the water. That's so awesome. The UAP was filmed entering the water with a controlled descent. The UAP emerged from the water about 17 minutes later and oriented into a sudden and rapid directional flight beyond the optical range of the platform monitoring it. I wonder if they show that in the video. The UAP displayed low observability. The UAP was not visible with night vision IR and appeared to jam the targeting capability of the optical platform. Jam an optical platform. I don't know how you do that. And how are you not visible in IR, man? Everything. UAP displayed positive lift without the normally associated aerodynamic means for lift and thrust. Signatures typically associated with the propulsion maneuvers observed were absent. Yes, that is so awesome. So, this is the you guys hear that sound? It's just it's like a filming of a video with a phone. Okay, yeah, 3.5 kilometers. Not changing though. That looks like to a steer point maybe. 73 meters. We always had a meter stick, man. It would just tell you right here, like how many meters this line is, and then that makes it easy. But 2 meters, 3.5 kilometers though. And this heading, I was expecting to see that change. So I don't think that's your target direction. I think this. I don't know. You know, E flight. I don't. Some sort of. I don't know that terminology. Definitely infrared. If it's not at night, you can go, but you can go to look at night, but you won't get a great image, obviously. What's so freaky is it's not moving like there's nothing not moving like a balloon, just like a robot or something just floating around. What the hell is that thing, man? It's so awesome. Cool. So you can see the people there. So if you look, it's smaller than people basically. Um, so maybe it's 3 feet tall. Depending how far away it is. It's about 5 meters high. Well, how can you tell how high it is? There's no shadow. It looks like La Bruja, the witch, moving across the creepy desert at night. They got it on IR. So here it's showing up, dark. Jellyfish. Let me see if this is different. Okay, that's like the same. Get a little bigger. Okay, well that's amazing. That is a great video. I mean, that's fantastic. And they have actually have it leaving. I mean, look at that where it changes. You do see the background kind of gain a little bit. I don't know. Did you? It gaining is weird, man. At night, I don't know. You can get weird effects just from lighting. Like I'm kind of getting the impression that maybe it's moving into a brighter area of lights, and like lights are hitting it, and it's changing its reflectivity or something. But does that work if it's in IR? Hmm. At night, though, you will see that the environmentals work differently than in the visible spectrum. And sometimes you can just have weird visual effects, and that's why we're always changing the polarities. Again, they just never change polarities. Maybe they can. That's where you go from white hot to black hot, white hot, black hot, white hot, black hot. It just helps you break out depth. I think it helps our human brains break out depth, etc. Yeah. It certainly doesn't look fake, right? That would be my first. And I get, is this the only one we get? Do we get any longer? So far, this is all I could find. That's so. There's a fence. Is that your base fence? Could have your base perimeter right there. Wow, interesting. That's a good one. I mean, that's gonna make news for sure. It's like a flying spaghetti monster or something. It's a flying spaghetti monster. What the hell? I mean, that's just insane. Okay, well, thanks, guys. That was awesome. That's a great video. I mean, to start out, really amazing. Really amazing. I love that video. The TMZ special, yeah. So I heard it's free. They said to watch on Tubi to watch the TMZ special. All right, guys, hour and a half. That's what it reminded me of. The Imperial probe droid, man. That thing looks like an Imperial probe droid. Or yeah, the killer flying spaghetti monster. It looked like the Imperial probe droid. Yeah, in there he basically says, we'll have to go watch it. I don't want to take away from his release. Sounds like there's more eyewitness accounts. Jeremy Corbell again killing it. George Knapp. Yeah, I hope this year that we see less vitriol. We can avoid all that and realize that most of it's probably disinformation, and just keep our eye on the prize. Let me see if I can get that back. But that is amazing. Wow. Already 2024, just killing it. Mismagius ghost type Pokemon. I don't know, George. Could it be bird poop on the glass housing? It might be. It's a smudge. It's a smudge on the camera. It's a smudge. Yeah, these are like these temporary shelters you see, and these are like your sandbags to defend against mortars. So if mortars hit, I remember we lived in the structures like this for like 6 months. These are your barracks, I think. You got all the sandbags laying around them, just checking things out. Just a lonely Imperial droid coming to see what's going on, everybody. I mean, this is anomalous to me. I would love to see where it goes in the water. He says it goes into the water and then shoots off at a high rate of speed. It's gonna be awesome, man. 2024. That's a great video. This really is a great video. Estimated speed. I mean, you saw how fast those people were walking, 10 miles an hour. It could be wind speed, but normally you'd see something else moving. And it doesn't move like a balloon; it just moves so weird. Man, I guess it could be, but you think you'd see dust or something moving on the ground. If there was really enough wind to push it like this. Yeah. All right, everyone. Thanks for being here. Hope you enjoyed this live stream. I'll try and do more of these. So Tuesday, if you want to ask questions, make sure your questions get answered right away. You can be a Patreon. You go to patreon.com/Chris Lehto. I'll answer your questions first, as well as exclusive videos. I released an exclusive video on what I did last year, the 3 things really that made a huge benefit in my life. And you can join YouTube memberships as well. I do exclusive videos there. And considering I'll do a live stream as well, members only this month. So if you want to get a part of that and support the channel, like I said, thank you so much for all the generosity tonight. Thanks again. That really will help. I would love to go up to Norway and bring that story for you guys. I was the only one covering it. So if you want me to go, let me know. And I would appreciate, again, any support to get up there. Thanks again. Have a great rest of your day. Go 2024. Man, so stoked. Let's make it happen, everybody. Tired of not knowing. All right. Have a great day.